everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? Full house, come on. Nice weather. We're in Kansas City. How could we do any better, right? So, welcome to the Kansas City AI Club's Open Mic Night. My name is Chris Kovac. I'm one of the co-founders here at the AI Club. I appreciate you joining us tonight. So what we're going to do is we're going to have some announcements, some housekeeping, and then we're going to have a couple speakers come up, looking at Kevin back there, and then we will jump into the program. So, question, who's here for the first time? Wow, that is amazing. Yes, thank you. We have a lot of OGs in the house, so who's been here more than 5 times? Wow, about a good split. So we appreciate both the newcomers as well as folks that have been here for the last 2 years. What I like to do is, I think the perception publicly is that AI people are grumpy or that we sit in the basement. So I always like to take pictures of the group here to show people, hey, we're fun people. We're excited. We're doing exciting things. So if you could placate me, I'd appreciate it if you could just, as soon as I get this ready, if you could wave on the count of 3, and then we will get going with the program. So give me 1 second here. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. You guys rock. Thank you so much. All right, so about the Kansas City AI Club, we are an informal professional organization. So what we want to do is we want to have an umbrella to bring people together to talk about all things AI. We do not have memberships. We're a volunteer-based organization. No one gets paid. And so we're just here to amplify what's going on in this city, in this region with AI and help people. So that's what we're here to do. If there's anything that the AI Club can do to support you, we have things like a top list of AI companies. We have upcoming speaker opportunities, whether that's a panel discussion, keynote, or otherwise. So you could be up here on the next session. Just let us know. We were established in 2023 in April, so we're right at 2 years old. And I did a little bit of research, and the Kansas City AI Club is the 8th largest AI-centric organization in the country. We are 8th. Yes, we should. Way above our weight class. I get the opportunity to talk to all kinds of people about what you're doing in AI. And forgive me, but there's a bunch of badasses in this room. There's a bunch of badasses in this city. There's all kinds of cool things that people are doing with AI. And so I would encourage you to network, talk to each other, learn from each other, and so on. If you want to learn more about us, you can check out our website, kansascity.ai. And we also have a LinkedIn page, so go to that. That's where we post more frequent updates. I would also like to thank the board of directors for the AI Club. We couldn't do it without the help of a number of different people. So for the board of directors, if you could raise your hand, let people know. Mr. Herc, you're on the list too. There you go. Thank you to the board. We have some really cool things coming up, so stay tuned for more. All right. We could also use your help. So we could use some help getting the word out about our club. Please post on social media if you're having a good time or if this is beneficial for you. Please tag us. But as much as you can kind of help evangelize us to people who have not heard of us yet, we would really appreciate that. So we want to say thank you to our sponsors because, again, without our sponsors, we would not be able to make this happen. So I'm going to actually call these people out, and the sponsors here, please raise your hand. Duda is not here tonight, but they're a website company. They're great. We have Mash Metrics, Thomas Basilovac right here, world-class analytics company. We have Next Level Performers. I think Scott went out to take a call, but kind of AI and talent. We have Actionable Ops with Dale in the corner. We have Kovac AI. We have Asperia now and Startland News. So thank you to all of our speakers. But we also want to give a huge shout out to Kevin McGinnis and Keystone Innovation, the Keystone Innovation District. Yes, they are hosting. So come on up, Kevin. I won't steal your thunder because you always ask who's here.
I think you've already asked, but I'll ask again. How many people, is this your first time here? Fantastic. As Chris said, my name is Kevin McGinnis. I'm the CEO of the Keystone Community Corporation. We are a nonprofit that has been tasked with the planning, development, and operations of an innovation district here in downtown Kansas City. We are now working on 2, because we live in Kansas City and you have to have 2 of everything because of state line. So we are now working on a Kansas City, Kansas project that will be, for those of you who have been in Kansas City for a while, it'll be at the old Indian Springs Mall site, which is now just a vacant piece of land and has been for over 15 years. We are working on a development with a developer there called Midtown Station. We will have an innovation center and partners from the Kansas side that will be joining us over there. And then we're looking to expand our footprint here in the Missouri side. We recently, and this is, I guess, news for this group, we were awarded a Kauffman grant. We were one of the 27 recipients for the project grants from the Kauffman Foundation, which will thank you. And just a little, is anybody here from the Kauffman Foundation? Awesome, let's talk about them. I wrote that grant using AI, using chat, and it was just me. I did not hire a grant writer and was one of the 27 recipients of that. So if people tell you that AI isn't functional for nonprofits or isn't helpful for the innovation community at large or ESOs, entrepreneurial support organizations like us, you can tell them they're full of crap because it got us a grant. What we're gonna do with that grant, and this is the ask for this group, we are launching a new angel network in Kansas City. Desperately need new angel investors to help power our early stage startup ecosystem. We have enough deal flow in Kansas City for angels to be funding those startups. We don't have enough organized angels around that. So if you know anybody that's interested, an accredited investor who's interested in angel investing, have them come talk to us. We will make an official announcement in June of the new network. We're also launching a new accelerator program for startups to engage with the corporate community. So if there are corporations, industry players who are looking to engage in the startup ecosystem, we will offer them a lightweight way to start doing that and engage with our startup ecosystem here in Kansas City as well. What we do here in the Innovation District is we host events like this. We try to build density to increase collisions, increase those opportunities for people to get to know each other. That's how innovation really happens. We also, this is a public workspace, so folks can just drop in throughout the day, use our tables, use our Wi-Fi for free, and have meetings here. And then we also offer programs. And so we have a new cohort of our Social Venture Studio, which is an accelerator program for social entrepreneurs. With this new accelerator, there's a current cohort member and a graduate here in the front row. For anybody who's interested in mentoring startups, please see me. We are in desperate need of more mentors in this ecosystem. So if anybody is interested, and don't underestimate what you do today, how it can help a startup. I don't care if you're in accounting and HR and doing technical assistance and technical support in your corporation or in your business. There are startups that desperately need help in those areas. There are sales, service, it doesn't matter. We need people with functional expertise that can help our startup ecosystem and help propel them to the next level. So please come talk to me or visit our website. We'll have a sign up for new mentors there as well. We desperately need your help to really kind of continue to grow the startup ecosystem and the innovation ecosystem here in Kansas City. So thank you all for being here. If you have any questions about events or about using the space, please come talk to me. Again, my name is Kevin McGinnis. You can also visit our website, keystonedistrict.org, see our upcoming events, or get involved in any of our programs here. So thank you again for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin. I can't thank Kevin and team enough that helps us set up and break down this room. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into throwing these events, so we appreciate it. I want to introduce a very special speaker. Who is familiar with WeCode KC? Right on. So I'd like to introduce Charmel, who wants to talk about some exciting things coming up with WeCode KC in collaboration with the Kansas City AI Club. So please give a warm welcome to Charmel.
Thank you so much, Chris. First of all, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. WeCode KC is so very appreciative of the collaboration and partnership with the Kansas City AI Club. I'm Charmel Winsett, the Vice President of Development and Strategic Partnerships. Our amazing, innovative, and visionary CEO is Tammy Buckner. Tammy, raise your hand. Yes. Tammy, with with her own money out of her 401k, bootstrapped and started a 501c3 to change the world through the lens of technology. We Code is a tech ed nonprofit located on 48th and Troost. We offer low-cost coding courses to youth as young as 7 years old up to age 14. And then we have a workforce program that is an earn while you learn program. We pay students while they learn Python, JavaScript. Also, they take courses like artificial intelligence and AI ethics and safety. The whole goal is to eradicate poverty by preparing young people for future jobs in technology, engineering, and every other pathway. As you all know, nonprofits takes a lot of money to educate and to change lives. At the same time, we really believe in social enterprise. And so through that lens, we recently were awarded a small grant by Google, a grant by Microsoft, and the Kapoor Foundation. All three of these grants were so that we could leverage the AI tools that are available and make them available and accessible to everyone in the Kansas City community. When we got the grant, we didn't think it would make sense in a silo to have an AI summit by ourselves. We reached out to Chris Kovac and asked, would he be our partner and collaborator? Let's please give him a clap for saying yes. Everybody to take out your phones, if you don't mind. Scan the QR code. It will allow you to take a quick early peek. We are going to have a one-day summit October 16th starting at 8 a.m. The courses will go until about 4 or 4:30, and then from 5 to 7 there will be network. There are going to be several pathways for learning. One will be business and finance. Another learning pathway will be for healthcare professionals. We'll also have a learning pathway for educators, government, and entrepreneurs. The purpose of this summit is not for you all to come and listen to people talk all day. We want to shine a light on the talent that's in this room. If you have an AI business, an AI tool that you would like to feature, please come see me. I'd like to sign you up on our vendor list. If you yourself would consider, there's local speakers that are subject matter experts in a particular area that you think people want to learn about. We are also setting up listening sessions for speakers. We have partnerships with Microsoft, and we'll be offering at this summit courses. So when individuals buy tickets, the early bird special is $275. That special will run for the AI Club through the end of July. These courses, throughout the day, you will be able to look at the learning journeys and choose a variety of courses on subject matters that matter to you most. And so we, in about 45 days, we'll be posting what the exact learning journeys will look like and who the featured speakers are. But we really want to pull first from the talent we have in this city. I'll be leaning on Chris and the rest of you to let us know who you might want to hear from locally, regionally, or nationally. And I don't want to steal too much time, so I'm going to pass the mic to Chris, but I will be here. Please scan the code. I would love to see you buy an early bird ticket. And this is going to be an amazing opportunity to shine a light on how innovative Kansas City is. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I can't speak enough about, there's so many great communities in Kansas City, and WeCode KC is certainly one of them. One other housekeeping, bathrooms back through the double glass doors, right to your right, and there's also some concessions there too. So, okay, so here's what we're going to do tonight. We call it an AI open mic night, and the idea here is we want to give a platform so a number of people from different backgrounds and different areas of interest can talk AI. So another way to kind of position this is a lightning pitch. Now this is not easy to come up here, 5 minutes, they get one slide. Could you imagine? I don't think I can do it, bless you. So this is going to be really exciting. So after after the end of this, there'll be some time for networking, and I would really encourage you to find the speakers that you're interested in. Go connect with them on LinkedIn so you can continue to talk with them, right? Okay, so now we're going to get started. So Mr. Jeff, if you can come up here, I'd like to introduce the first speaker, Jeff Danley, and he's got a really cool idea, Tech Knowledge Club, and so I won't steal any of your thunder. Thank you, Jeff.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, one slide and 5 minutes. Anyone that has seen me present knows that that's a significant challenge for me. So, again, my name is Jeff Danley. I'm currently Director of Innovation at Burns & McDonnell. That is not why I'm here tonight. But in my role at Burns & Mac, I'm leading our enterprise AI strategy and deployment. And every day I'm working with technology partners like Google, ChatGPT, OpenAI, variety of technology partners, and we're integrating them into our AI ecosystem. And we face a variety of challenges, as you might imagine. The technology is actually the easy part. It's the people and upskilling people and helping people understand how to use the AI and be more proficient with the AI that's frequently the biggest challenge. And I feel fortunate every day to be able to work with leading edge technologies. Throughout my career, I've been very fortunate and been able to always have jobs that I enjoy. Just working with new tech, and I realize that there's some privilege that comes along with that. And I've tried to extend that. Probably 7 or 8 years ago, I launched Tech Knowledge Club. And my objective was to bring the technology and hardware and software and knowledge that I gain on the job just through the benefit of having the jobs that I've had. And I wanted to bring that to kids. And putting things like augmented reality and virtual reality in the hands of students and letting their minds run wild with that technology it's a benefit for them, and it's really inspiring to see what the kids can come up with. And with Technology Club, when I first started, we were teaching kids to code. We were introducing them to new hardware, and this was in a classroom environment. So this was in the evenings. I was teaching these classes. We had summer school classes that we taught also, and there was a significant amount of interest. Unfortunately, also having a career, it was challenging for me to get out and continue doing that. So I put that on the shelf for a little bit, and I recognize that right now, we are at another inflection point with technology, and what I'm finding is with kids, it's partially that students don't have access to the technology, but they're also discouraged from using it at school. I presented to 300 interns today, and I asked them to raise their hand if they're discouraged from using AI in college. And of course, every one of their hands went up. And so I'm rebooting Technology Club. And rather than doing live classes, because I don't think students want to sit in a classroom for summer school classes for 2 weeks, we're going to launch an online community where students, I've identified probably middle school would be the entry point up through college age, and we're going to cover the basics of interacting with AI. And things like prompt engineering, responsible use of AI. How can they use AI not to cheat on their homework or not to write their term papers, but to help them vet ideas or build an outline for their presentations? These are skills that I'm finding with not just employees that we have on the job today, but with new hires and these interns that I just met with today. I want those people, when they arrive at my employer, I want them to have these skills. That will give them not only an advantage against other people that are competing for those jobs, but it gives them a significant advantage over people that are in those jobs today. So anyway, kind of a preview, Technology Club, we're launching next month, so we've just got a couple weeks to get everything buttoned up. I've got the QR code. It looks maybe a little bit skewed. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, I'll be hanging around back here, so come say hi. But you can sign up. There's a form on the website. I'll be sending out there's an 8-week curriculum for the summer, and then some more information on the classes and kind of how the community is going to operate. But it will be launching the first week of June, and we've got programming that will run through the summer, and what we end up with at the end of the summer is honestly, it's kind of TBD at this point. We'll see what the interest is over the course of the summer. I'd like to get into maybe some AI agent development later this summer using tools like make.com or N8N. But first things first, we want to get people going with the basics of how do they responsibly use the technology, prompt engineering, and kind of covering some of the limitations that I'm seeing with people on the job today. So that's it. My time's up. Thank you.
Oh, cool.
Fast
All right.
and Furious, man.
Fast and Furious. Oh, yeah, so mine's a little askew as well. Okay, so my name is JQ Searles. I am founder and CEO of Storytailor. So 75% of the time you'll ever spend with your child happens before they're 12. Think about that for a second. 75% of the time you will ever spend with your child happens before they're 12 years old. That's something that I've thought about for a very long time. Now that I'm a dad, I didn't think about it before. Before I was dad, I just liked cartoons. So let me give you, I don't really want to pitch Storytailor more so than I want to tell you a very short story in the time that I have. I'm from Kansas City, born and raised here. One thing that I always liked about here was the Disney's original studio. Even though it's basically decrepit, I remember thinking that if Disney came from Kansas City, I could. From that, all I ever cared about was whimsical stories. I mean, if Where the Wild Things Are, Calvin and Hobbes, I loved everything about it. But it always seemed that every single time I saw a story that dealt with anybody imaginative, those characters didn't look like me. All the characters that looked like me, it was the 700th story of Martin Luther King or the 800th story of Malcolm X. Now, I'm not saying that those are bad. I'm just saying that where the hell is Toy Story for people who look like me, right? I didn't see that. So I wanted to make that. So at 7 years old, this is what I would do. I would stop a TV shows halfway through and I would write the rest of the episode. And from doing that and from drawing and writing, I ended up being mentored at Hallmark as a 7-year-old. This happened actually from a competition. It was a competition that dealt with, it was actually with elementary school, middle school, and high school. And when I did it, I actually beat the high school, and they thought I was a high school student, finding out I was 7. And so I ended up being mentored at Hallmark, and I ended up being mentored by a lot of award-winning authors and illustrators at the time. From there, I really wanted to understand what was it like to make a children's book, and I've dedicated my entire life toward it. All much such as so, I got a degree from Rockhurst, specifically in English and writing for children. I also have an MBA in innovation, specifically in EdTech, writing for children. I've actually helped create the books department at abcmouse.com. If you guys have ever used ABC Mouse and did anything with stories, I was behind that. And then I worked at Sony Pictures. There was an author there who I helped reach the New York Times bestseller list. I say all that to say that storytelling has always been my thing. It's always been a very curated thing, and I've curated my entire life for it. What made me really get to that point was actually when I wanted to make my first book. It was called No Monster No, and it was about a little girl who took the monster under her bed to school and taught him manners. I did that. I sent it to publishers. The publisher said that we don't believe your story captures the Black experience enough. And so and now we're talking about 200 rejections later. What I did was I went to go find their manufacturers, the distributors. I found every single publishing. I even worked at HarperCollins, pretending I actually really wanted to be there so that I could understand how publishing worked. When I found out all of their manufacturers and their distributors, I created my own publishing, and now I can make books better than any publisher myself. All right. But when I figured that out, I also understood that I wanted to learn this not only so that I can make my own books, but so that I can teach others how to do it. But in order to make a really good book, it's about $20,000 minimum. That didn't work. So what ended up happening was I realized that tech was the way to go. And so I taught myself software engineering. I taught myself UI UX design. I specifically started working at places like Salesforce and Apple. I'm very determined, if you can't tell. And I wanted to figure out a digital way to do so. Over time, I had some help from some friends at Pixar who helped me with a really cool story that helped kids create their own storytelling. But from there, I started to think that maybe AI might be the way to go. And so that was when I started to work with AI, training it on me. My entire, I'm 39, so what, 30 plus years of storytelling experience, I started to train AI into that so that I could teach the real authors and illustrators of books, which are parents and the teachers, not the people who want to write, but the people who know your kid. And that's how Storytailor was born. So what is Storytailor? Storyteller helps anyone, anywhere, in any language create a personalized story for their child in under 90 seconds. Now, I'm not talking about ChatGPT, make a story for my kid. I mean understanding every single beat of a story. That means a little girl who's Samoan and half black, who's autistic and in a wheelchair, can make a story today about her experience while also injecting math, while also injecting self-confidence, while also injecting all kind of random things. And what I mean by that is, my son made a story the other day about Mr. Poop and Mr. P battle a kung fu toilet. Right? Right? So that was my son's story, but he's also having confidence issues, so I put in the confidence issues. So what happened was that Mr. Poop was a little nervous because he didn't think he could actually defeat the toilet. It was random, it was gross, but my son loved it, you know, and I found out that his schooling, his school grades and his confidence in his testing has gone up 30%. And that was all from me building out Storyteller to obviously test it on my son to see if it works, Storyteller has been, and we now have a little over 5,500 users around the world, 200 as of the last 2 weeks. And we are in Children's Mercy right now. We're in a couple other children's hospitals. I was featured on MSN as like one of the top 10 influential people to follow, which is crazy. We've been in Techstars, we've been in Generator, Techstars Abu Dhabi very specifically. That was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about that market. I found out that less than 0.06% of books that featured Arab children, actually only 6.06% of books featured Arab children, and even then they were the third character, they weren't the lead character, and that was all because of the biases of the industry. So in Storyteller, you make a story, when you make that story, it comes with off-screen activities. Those off-screen activities are very specifically so you can get off the screen. In Storyteller, I do not want you to be on the screen for a long time. You go to Storyteller, you make a story, you play with your kid, you spend time with your kid, and then you get back to Storyteller, make a story, print it off, spend time with your kid. If you guys get a chance, Storyteller.com, I'm happy to see you there. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Lori Simmons. This is my first time here and doing this sort of thing and speaking in front of y'all. I realized I think I'm the only female speaker up here today. Thank you. All of these fine gentlemen up here in the front were, cheering me on like, you can do this, don't be nervous. And I think it actually made it worse. So, in any case, they did tell me to say a bad joke or something like that. So in any case, my name is Lori Simmons. I am a business intelligence analyst. I also do Power Platform development, and I've been in the data analytics realm for over 5 years now. I also specialize in data visualization. So I got my degree in the fine arts and painting, and things have just kind of come full circle as I've changed career paths. And then currently I'm on the market for seeking a new role, but in the meantime, I wanted to do this because my father just retired, and he's always encouraged me to use my creativity as an artist, whether it's on canvas or on a computer, and attempting to tell a story with data using some very strong visualizations to tell a story. Much like JQ, you're probably familiar with storytelling, right? But using data visualization. So yes, I do have note cards because I'm a very analytical person. But aside from similar subject matter expertise, my father and I are both data analysts. We're both artists. So in the meantime, we're trying to come up with a blueprint for an art-related business. In the past, we have done a fine art studio business where we did spend some time creating the art, but we came into a lot of roadblocks because it would take a lot of time to come up with a draft and a vision for the client, and that's not always feasible. That's time you can't get back. How do you charge time? How do you charge for time when you're an artist and you're developing anything from a painting to a photograph or a screen print? So that's why AI is a fantastic tool, because you can use it to definitely help generate the client's vision. When I first started painting in my business with my father, I would generate the painting, and there wasn't really much you could draft up. The client knew your style, however, it seemed to always be a surprise to them nonetheless when you would do the big reveal. So I think AI in that sense can really help draft up and kind of generate a client's vision. It can be interactive, and you can do like different permeations of the vision fairly quickly. So that takes out a lot of time from creating the actual final product. So the other thing we're thinking about with this blueprint is like, how can we utilize AI to develop our brand and maintain our brand? And so a couple of things, let me get to my notes here. So like building an AI model, right? You want to try to like identify these very subjective attributes of your art. So if you're going to use some coding to do that, you have to think about how you're going to take an abstract idea and make it quantifiable in your Python code, or whatever AI tool that you're utilizing. In this case, we'd probably use some sort of language processing tool to analyze like text-based requests from the clients. There are also like computer vision models that can kind of help implement your own aesthetic, so that way your model can like understand and stay true to the brand that you're trying to create and expand upon. Looks like my timer might be
30 seconds.
Okay. So in any case, I think the last thing I wanted to touch upon was that one of the cool things about AI is it can also help make sure that you're law-abiding by copyright infringement policies. So it's a fantastic way, and there's so many programs out there actually for this sort of thing. So there's actually a whole expansive set of ideas if you want to be in the art world. I think AI actually has helped enhance the possibilities for being an artist and a creator. Thank you so much.
Hi guys, I'm old, I'm using the stairs. It's just how it happens. I've been here before. I am Wayne Hansen, I'm CEO of a company called Sleep Fitter. For you guys that have seen us, it was a Rare Flow product. So we are a product company with an AI spin. So when we went to launch our product nationally, we understood that there's a huge gap in people finding out what they need to sleep. You don't talk to your doctor, the retailers have people on the floors that you're not willing to qualify your personal sleep health with. And we found that in most cases, people had underlying consequences that could be solved with sleep equipment from my healthcare background that could gain better outcomes. Then we were told by the major mattress companies that are out there that we work with, we can't sell outcomes. We want people to buy stuff, put it in their trunk, and never bring it back to us again. That is my market that we are out there changing. Does that QR code work when it shrunk? All right, way to go. There are also NFC cards. There's so many security people here. You can hit the NFC on the card that says Sleep Fitter. I'm going to give away a $100 pillow to one of the people that fills out that survey for us. We are in the process of collecting data. What Sleep Fitter is, it is a performance platform for sleep, both products and digital platform. We go into employee health, we go into the medical environment, retail and direct to consumer, and we close the gap of conversation of how you can get better regenerative sleep. It all comes down to your personal fingerprint and blueprint. That slide really got screwed up somehow.
That's my fault.
Chris, we blame you. I don't know if you guys heard, but JQ said, I failed 200 times. I am a 2-time loser of the Digital Sandbox. I'm a 3rd-time winner. But I have a great team. And that comes down to is that we figured out digitally that you need to assess your sleep. And the way that people really understand what a true baseline is, you need to compare it to your peers. You need to figure out how you sleep. Women want to be compared to women that are in menopause. That's what our product helps. People that have stomach issues will sleep on their left side. We compare by careers. What we discovered is not only creating the individual process, actionable ops, Dale's here, we work with him, the individual, but we discovered that we help with an employer as well. When we reduce anxiety, we increase sleep, we increase performance, we decrease absenteeism. So we're building a platform that does a business roll-up for any company, and I quickly identifies through that survey that you guys are doing the cost of sleep deprivation to that company. There's a $3,000 loss to a business per year of healthcare costs due to sleep apnea. Sorry, getting old. Undiagnosed insomnia, $2,000 a year. That doesn't include the net loss to revenue, expenses, absenteeism. We are not an EAP program. We started out as an EAP program. We had a great advisor who said, get out of there, get to the C-suite level, start talking about how you grow profit, how you grow revenue, how you grow individual performance. You deserve to be, I'm on 6:19, I got 6 minutes left. You deserve to be better parents, better employees, and it starts with regenerative sleep. Dr. Courtney Younglove was an advisor 2 years ago. She joined me as a co-founder. Liliana's an exited founder, both Digital Sandbox winners. They had crutches that they designed. If you see that, you walk on elbows. We are helping women in particular with our performance products. I'm not here to talk about our performance products, but you need to be diagnosed if you're over 40 for sleep health. Doctors don't have time to talk to you. When's the last conversation you had with the doctor? Are you going in to a guy who probably didn't graduate high school, or a gal, and having a personal conversation with them about how you sleep when you're buying a mattress? It's not the mattress. Look up incline bed therapy. Look up insomnia. It's anxiety. If you solve these issues, you become a better person. We created this platform to assess, compare, and improve. You can hit the QR code. You can call our 800 number. You can dial #250 on any cell phone in America and say the word Sleep Fitter, and you'll be sent that survey. So if you're a business, get a hold of us. As an individual, you're going to get education and information on how to sleep better out of that survey, and one of you is going to get a really nice pillow. All right? Thank you.
I'll walk around too. I got bad knees. Awesome. First, I'm gonna take a seat because this is a tough conversation. That everyone's already sitting, so I'm gonna join you. So first, I want to start, and second, first Chris and Kevin on this program here at Keystone. If you haven't been here, please come. This program actually helped me launch my company. Kevin, I knowingly text probably 2 or 3 times a week. On my system. So I appreciate everything that Keystone offers as a founder, and Chris as well with the AI Club. So first, thank you for that. All right, so let's get to a tough conversation. First, my name is Michael Shaw. I'm founder of Uwazi AI. Uwazi is Swahili for transparency. The reason that matters is I'm aiming to solve probably one of a 4-year question mark, which is voter participation and literacy in our current democracy. And I'm going to lay out a couple of key stats you can see here. 80% of our voters, when they go to vote, report feeling overwhelmed by the ballot itself. Typically, the questions are a little complex. There's a lot of questions or people you don't know, you don't understand who your judges are, all those kind of local things that you often find, as well as what we obviously know is our presidential election. Where this changes is in our primary elections, which is at 60% attendance. So that 60% makes up the decision for the other 40%, just to keep that in mind. At the local level, and this is actually high, 27% nationally attend local elections. In Kansas City, our last election, it was 8%. 8%, just to keep that in mind. They made the decision for the other 92% in our last election. I want to bring that up because Uwazi AI is a civic platform built to improve civic literacy quickly. The average person spends about 10 minutes researching their ballot prior to walking in to vote.
Now, my goal is to help that 10 minutes become a lot more educative. What Uwazi does, it's a mobile app that you'll be able to download. It's not out yet. I'm in the social venture program, so I'm still building the app. It'll be out hopefully the end of this year, towards the end of this year. What it'll do is provide a chatbot that'll simplify the text ballot down to an 8th grade reading level. You can simply ask it questions. It'll actually answer the question and tell you if you vote yes, this is what this means. If you vote no, this is what this means. So it's very direct in the question. This is also a nonpartisan tool, so there's no political commentary at all. I'm hoping to take the commentary out of politics with this app. The other part to this, the algorithm will also help you tailor your experience as engaged citizens to things going on in your community. This nonprofit such as Keystone, if you're looking to involve yourself, be a donor, or any activator in this space, you can actually go through the app and it'll align you with nonprofits in your area that fit your mission, things you want to solve in your community. And so it's very tailored specifically to the user to make decisions. For the nonprofits in the room, for those nonprofit owners, you'll also be able to help on the CRM side determine and find better and more long-term users, because the algorithm actually tailors that experience and buckets them into places where now you're more focused on building long-term relationships, or not having to focus on building long-term relationships with your user. And so YZI is first focused on making this more literate, but then also helping you engage in your community at any level. The hypothesis, which is so far ranked true, and I'll give you a couple of stats. Prior to launching this app, I serviced over 500 surveys to make sure that, is this even a real problem? And 3 things that came back that alarmed me the most. One, 93%, let me back up. The age group was from ages 18 to 40 that took this survey. 93% of the people that took this survey used social media only as their only source of information when it comes to elections. Now, as scary as that sounds, we have used what was supposed to be a connector of people as a source of information. Yes, it sounds great on paper. Much social media people will tell you that's what they want it to be. But it's all tailored to experience and money. If you have the money to fund these pages, you can tell any story you want. Hopefully it's the right story in terms. And so with YZI, it actually eradicates that completely. We have a nonpartisan news source page where you'll actually be able to source real information in real time. It collects data directly from state, federal, and city sites to see what's going on in your community directly, not from any newspaper or anything like that. So you'll be able to actually get credible information for any user looking to learn more about what's going on in their community, which also allows you, again, to dive in nonprofit. I got 6 minutes, so I guess I still got time.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay, all right. Well, I'll wrap up. Well, first, I want to thank Keystone as well, and I wanted to encourage everyone. Please go out and vote. Okay. If you don't know what to vote on, don't understand what's going on your ballot, please reach out to me. Connect with me. I'll be happy to help. The reason I built this app, quick story, hopefully this is now 30 seconds. The last election, I spent the entire time actually working with people via Zoom, doing 15-minute calls to help them prepare for the election, which turned out to be one of the reasons I decided to build this app, as many people were not very educated on what was on the ballot. So please go out and vote. That's my last thing. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to use a timer here because I haven't rehearsed this. How many of you use ChatGPT on a daily basis by a quick show of hands? How many of you prefer or like Claude more than ChatGPT? Okay, me too. So I'm introducing to you Archaea. Archaea is an AI app. It's the first AI app of its kind. It allows you to chat with all your favorite LLMs from one UI. You can ask the same question to multiple large language models and get 2 answers side by side, so you can pick the best one. Actually, you can have a third model that acts as a judge to give you the best answer. But this is not the coolest thing about Archaea. Archaea actually a ChatGPT, but it doesn't talk as much as ChatGPT does. It actually executes things. So instead of asking ChatGPT what is the best places to visit in Italy, you ask Archaea, can you book my dream trip to Italy with my girlfriend on my birthday? And you hit return. In a minute or so, Archaea will come back and tell you, I have created this itinerary, and if you like it, you can confirm so I can book everything for you. Oh, and by the way, I have reserved a window seat for your girlfriend because I know she has a motion sickness. And Archaea is actually being used today as a research assistant by UMKC researchers. Archaea is saving them more than 2 days a week. What it took them a month ago to do in 2 days, today they can achieve it in less than 3 minutes using Archaea with a single prompt. What you actually see on the right side of the screen is the UI of our application. And I'm asking it a prompt. This is what the researchers at UMKC use it for today, and that's their prompt. Count the particles in the images inside the folder on my desktop that is called XYZ, and then extract all the counts in a CSV file, push all of that data to Excel, normalize the data, and then generate a graph. Once you're done with that, email that graph to my boss or my manager. And this is all done with a single prompt. The coolest part of this is that all of your data stays local on your machine or your enterprise infrastructure. ChatGPT and Claude themselves do not get to see your prompts because we have our own deployed versions of these models on Amazon Bedrock. This is not only for consumers, this is for enterprise. You download Archaea within your infrastructure. Archaea connects to your enterprise tools with a single click using a new technology called Model Context Protocol and agent-to-agent protocols. And then every one of your employees will be able to create and personalize their own AI agents with prompts only. Their AI agents can automate multi-step workflows using tools that they use on everyday basis. On the left, we have the set and list of tools. You connect this application to your Gmail, to your Slack channel, to your GitHub, to Python, so it can also write code, and to any tool you could imagine. If you're a data analytics platform, you can now allow your customers to actually talk your data without them needing to know or learn SQL. Without you having to build anything in the platform except building and deploying Archaea. So in a nutshell, we are the fastest, most secure AI application in the market today. We are built on the MCP technology, and we allow both enterprise and consumers to turn their machines, devices, and infrastructure into an actual AI execution agents that can actually take actions instead of just chatting. We are less than 1 month old company. My name is Garib. Before working on Archaea, I was the Chief AI Scientist and Executive Vice President of a company from here, Kansas City, called Triple Blind, that exited last October. For the last month, I have been working on Archaea. We are testing it now with researchers from UMKC and a sports analytics platform here in Kansas City. I would love to hear your opinions, and I would love you to integrate this in your platforms. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for screwing up my slide too, Chris. Appreciate that. My name is Dr. Rob Voss, and I'm a historian by trade. I come to this space in a very different route, and as a historian, I'm going to tell you my story. So bear with me. So a little bit of my story. I'm, like I said, a historian by training, by trade. I'm a professor at Northwest Missouri State. But before all of this, I worked in business. I worked for Wells Fargo. I worked for a small construction company. Grad school is amazing. And I've studied the history of capitalism and business with a good grounding in economics. What's driven me through all of this is simple. I'm insanely curious. Curiosity is what brought me into academia, which brought me into doing digital history, into teaching courses on digital humanities, and ultimately into building out an applied AI minor at Northwest Missouri State, where I teach. I've lived in the digital space just with a historian's lens and an educator's mindset. Then in November of 2022, like most of us, I encountered generative AI. Within a week, I was hooked. A few days later, I bumped into one of my colleagues, Dr. Brooke McAtee. We saw each other at church. I couldn't contain myself. I'm like, Brooke, you've got to check this out. This is really amazing. This ChatGPT thing is going to transform what we do. From my enthusiasm and from that conversation, it immediately changed her workflow as a nursing educator, and she immediately saw the need and the value that ChatGPT and AI could add to her nursing education. That one hallway conversation or church conversation sparked a ripple. By January, I was leading faculty workshops packed wall to wall, not with hype, but with questions, and I leaned in. I leaned in again when community groups started asking for guidance, when school leaders wanted help with AI policies, when business owners said, we want to understand this AI thing, whatever that means. So, 8 weeks ago, I took the leap and I founded Voss AI Consulting LLC. I announced it on Facebook, and the response, it was immediate. One college friend of mine immediately asked me for a quick intro. I said, of course, sure, let me use you as a guinea pig and let's try this consulting thing out. So we had a half-hour conversation over FaceTime, and that was that. But then he turned around and reached out to my wife to find my Venmo account and sent me money because the conversation was so valuable. Now, honestly, when a guy stalks your spouse just to pay you for a free meeting, you either call the cops or you start a consulting business. I started a consulting business. So since then, 8 weeks, the stories have multiplied. I had one client say he wanted to get AI powered. It turns out he didn't need AI at all. What he needed was a marketing plan. And so that's what I'm helping him out with. But AI gave us a place to start. I helped him think clearly, not just move quickly. Because here's the thing. This isn't just about using AI. It's about using judgment. Leaning in means asking better questions, not just finding faster answers. That's what I bring to this space, not a tech bro energy, but the trust and rigor of a professor who's worked in and studied business, who's lived in the digital world, and who still believes the most powerful tool we have is curiosity. And I keep leaning in with CPA firms now, school districts, and small businesses to help them rethink what's possible, to see AI not just as a time saver, but as a multiplier of meaning, momentum, and mission. So, if you're curious, if you're cautious, or if you're overwhelmed, that's okay, good. That means you're paying attention, and I'm here to help you lean in. Let's build smart, let's build responsibly, let's build together. I'm Dr. Rob Voss. My company is Voss AI Consulting, and I'm glad to talk with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Shashank Date. I'm VP of Engineering at Rothbright. And at Rothbright, we develop products using AI, and we also offer services for our clients to use AI. And most of them have this problem. There are millions of models out there on Hugging Face, thousands of apps, hundreds of platforms, and there's just one of you. You being very, very unique. And then how do I choose the best model for you? How do you know that this is best for me? Okay, that's the problem that we try to solve. I wish I knew about Archaea because that's exactly one of the things that we try to do. Now, you being a freelancer would have a different answer than from you being a business owner or an enterprise person, person working at the enterprise. So we have to tweak our answers for who you are, specifically for you. So it's subjectivity that matters. We are talking of Gen AI, not predictive AI. For predictive AI, there are very well written tools to do all the calculations of how good a prediction is. Not so much for Gen AI, and that's where we want to help. So we are not really looking for a generic solution. We are looking for a specific solution which has both qualitative and quantitative analysis done to answer that question. Best. What's best? Okay, well, what's best is your definition of best, not somebody else's, not the world's definition of best. Your definition. You are in control. And therefore, you decide what is good, better, best. How do we do that? We do that using your intelligence, your experience, your intuition, and mixing that with AI. So we use AI to use AI, okay? And then we use a very data-driven approach. We use AI, as you all know, has to rely on a lot of data, otherwise AI is useless. And so we use a data-driven approach to come up with a solution just for you. Our solution, we want it to be ethical, which means we want our data to be de-biased as much as possible. We all live in a very biased world, we all know that. And even good data has negative bias in it. We want to be able to eliminate that negative bias as much as possible using AI. It's a very hard problem to crack, but it is possible. We want it to be responsible. We use IBM's Risk Atlas. IBM has published a Risk Atlas that tells you how to use responsibly, so we try to adhere to that. And then we also want it to be process-driven so that it is robust. Things change constantly, and we want our solution to not change as much. So it's a very challenging and a very rewarding experience. We have challenges like data drift. We have challenges like hallucinations. This landscape is changing constantly. And therefore, we have to come up with a solution that changes with that changing landscape every day. What is true today may not be true tomorrow. And so you need to have a way to get that best out of it every single time, every day. That's what we do. I'm Shashank Date again. Hit me up on LinkedIn. Obviously, I'm going to talk to Garib here to see how we can incorporate. We are doing this multi-model evaluator. It's a tool that we are building for both text, video, and text and image right now, and very soon we will publish it for video. And that's why I said it's subjective. You know, what video is better for you is what we are trying to find out. Okay? That's it. That's it for me. Thank you so much. I'm Shashank Date again.
All right. Hey, everybody. So my name is Connor Lynn. I'm a market development specialist here in Kansas City. Work for a company called Neutrality Data Centers. I assume most of you have probably not heard of us, but maybe some of you in the IT world, you may know our building, 1102 Grand. Show of hands, anybody here? Perfect, yeah, got some good representation. Great. So before I kind of dive in on Neutrality and just kind of our value prop, I did want to just say a special shout out to Chris, William, I don't know where he is, but thank you guys for giving me the chance to speak today. It means a lot. So, so just want to briefly touch on how data centers, just like 1102 Grand right here in Kansas City, as well as our newest high-density data center on the other side of State Line, 7801 Neiman Road out in Shawnee, are foundational to supporting the infrastructure needs of AI today and supporting the next phase of growth. So I'll start by just giving a little bit of background on Neutrality. Actually, my slide seems to have formatted okay, so I guess that means Chris likes me a little bit more than some of these other speakers. But yeah, so Neutrality Data Centers, we are the largest privately held owner and operator of core interconnection facilities in the US. So in addition to being in Kansas City, we're also in 5 other markets. You can see there we got Philadelphia, St. Louis, Chicago, Houston, Indianapolis, and Philadelphia, Philly. So if you're not really familiar, essentially just think of us as the physical hub where internet, cloud, and enterprise networks converge. So I'm gonna brag on us just a little bit. So 1102 Grand, just up the road here, we are actually the most interconnected facility in the central Midwest region. Currently, we house over 120 plus network providers inside of our Meet Me room. That dense network fabric is what makes our facilities a true edge location. So now that you know a little bit about us, I want to talk to you about how this impacts AI. So I'm sure as many of you know, the real bottleneck in AI today is not just training models, but running them at scale. Specifically delivering real-time inference and enabling intelligent agents to operate across environments. So AI inference is obviously latency sensitive. If your infrastructure is located too far from where your data is generated or consumed, performance drops. That is why our edge interconnection matters. You need compute close to users, close to data, and close to decision points. With Neutrality, our customers can actually co-locate their hardware right next to key cloud providers, ISPs, and content delivery networks with single-digit millisecond latency. So as AI continues to become more deeply embedded in our personal and professional lives, the focus of AI will shift from training and creating the models towards inference, or the use of those models in agents. For example, you maybe think of an AI customer support bot, logistics model, fraud detection. All of these are examples that require high-density deployments. And I don't mean just GPUs and power, but low-latency access to multiple carriers and scalable cross-connects. Because of net neutrality's dense internet service provider ecosystem in our Meet Me room, companies deploying AI can actually plug directly into end-user traffic without expensive long hauls or public internet bottlenecks. That makes it faster, cheaper, and more scalable to serve these AI workloads closer to where the end users actually sit. We're also seeing more and more companies adopt hybrid AI strategies, meaning they're using both the public cloud as well as an on-prem cloud environment. So net neutrality actually bridges the gap between public, hybrid, and on-prem with direct cloud on-ramps to the largest cloud providers. So your AWSs, your Google Clouds, Azure, all of these and more. And we provide neutral access to the network providers. And this helps network or organizations build flexible and resilient AI stacks. All of this is backed by our service level agreement. I know it's a little difficult to read, but it's 99.9%. And in fact, over the last 5 years, we've achieved 100% uptime. And for those of you that are familiar with Houston, we've had a few hurricanes roll through, so that really is impressive. So if you're building AI tools and platforms, or maybe you're just curious about where the tech is going, just know that the infrastructure matters. The physical network behind the software is what determines performance, reliability, and scalability. So at net neutrality, don't just think of us as a landlord. Think of us as the connectivity on-ramp enabling the next generation of AI infrastructure. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to use the stairs too because I'm old also, and I'm going to sit down. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rick Perry. I'm a business systems analyst during the day, which means I probably have a lot in common with Lori here. And I develop Android apps on the side. I have the unique privilege of having a side hustle that is fun and interesting and provides extra income, which is great considering the recent performance of my 401k. I founded Starflower Solutions in 2013, and since that time I've developed several successful Android apps that I offer on Google Play. If you'd like to learn more about my apps, scan the QR code in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. If the QR code doesn't work, let me know. I'll give you a business card with a QR code that definitely works. If you'd like to learn more, I have paid and free versions of each app. Free ones have ads, paid ones have extra functionality and 0 ads. GitHub Copilot is transforming how developers work, not by replacing them, but by accelerating time-consuming tasks. A good example is modernizing Android applications, especially updating older code and user interfaces. Many legacy apps were built in Java, which is a solid programming language, I should know. However, Kotlin is now the preferred language for Android development. It's more concise, and transitioning an app from Java to Kotlin improves maintainability, but doing it manually is very time-consuming, even for experienced developers. With GitHub Copilot, developers can prompt the AI to convert Java code into Kotlin. The AI understands the original code and produces accurate Kotlin equivalents. Developers still need to review and refine the output, but Copilot does the heavy lifting. Similar challenge exists with interface layouts, user interface layouts, which are written in XML. In early Android development, screens were often designed with nested layouts such as a relative layout or linear layout, which control how the screen elements like buttons, text, graphics, and other items are sized, positioned, and displayed on a mobile screen. These older layouts can be slow to load and may have a less than smooth operation, also known as janky. The more modern constraint layout is now the preferred layout structure. It's more flexible, allowing developers to design responsive, adaptive interfaces with fewer layers and better performance. GitHub Copilot can assist here also. By analyzing outdated layout files, it generates more modern equivalents using the constraint layout structure, creating cleaner and more efficient user interfaces. So, what am I doing with AI currently? First, I'm using GitHub Copilot to rewrite user interfaces and convert all of my old linear and relative layouts, the old junk, to constraint layouts. It's very time consuming to do it manually, but only takes minutes with Copilot. Notice the screenshot on the lower right-hand corner of the screen. The left side shows the original user interface XML code, and the right side shows the revised UI code after GitHub Copilot rewrote it with a constraint layout. It only took a few minutes. Second, because I developed all of my apps in Java, I'm now starting to convert the code in my apps from Kotlin to Kotlin using GitHub Copilot. And what do I plan to do in the future with AI? Well, I'm going to take on a big challenge. I'm going to recreate my Android apps in Apple iOS with Xcode and GitHub Copilot. Yeah. Big challenge. No, I'm not going to use Xamarin. Ask me why later. I may also use Copilot to create new functionality for existing apps. Last, I want to create some new apps for Android and iOS and possibly some mobile games. Yeah, I've got dreams. So, if you use any AI tools like this, I strongly recommend writing a specific and clear prompt of what you want the AI to do. Don't get in too much of a rush. Writing something short like convert to Kotlin may not yield the results you want or expect. It's perfectly normal to revise your prompt and ask the AI to do it again and make some changes. I had to revise my prompt a few times to convert a user interface, such as this one, but the total time was still under 20 minutes. If I did it manually, it would have taken me hours, possibly days, for that single file. Finally, don't just accept what the AI provides verbatim. I'm sure developers in the audience already know this. Review the results and make revisions as necessary. The AI is a tool to help us accomplish things faster and more efficient, not to do everything for us. Also, GitHub Copilot provides a plugin that seamlessly integrates into Android Studio. I'm hoping it'll do the same thing with Xcode. I'll be around for the rest of the meeting in case any of you want to chat or have any questions. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everybody. I am Doug Richards. Last time I did an open mic, I think I was still playing in a punk rock band, so the good news is I could do 2 songs in 5 minutes in those days. I'm sure I can get your point across tonight. All right, so artificial intelligence. Let's talk about who I am and where I come from. I am the owner of a consulting company called Smart Factory. We've been in business for almost 20 years. We are a very boutique consulting company. We specialize in essentially scale to sell. So we grow companies from millions of dollars to billions of dollars and help them go to market. That's specifically what we do. So my background is in technology, but from my background in technology, I spend a lot of time with executives. And the one thing I can tell you right now with absolute certainty is executives across the landscape feel like they are losing control. AI is terrifying to the executive. They don't know how they're going to keep employees. We don't know how we're going to do training. We don't know about security. There are a lot of things that we have a lot of fear around. A lot of what you've heard people talk about tonight. Data security, privacy, ethical practices, all of those things. At the executive level, and I have the good fortune to present to somewhere between 12 and 20 boards of directors on an annual basis, across the landscape, everyone has the same concerns. How are we going to manage this? So the other day, I had this idea and thought about this idea of artificial business intelligence. So a couple of years ago, I started to write a book called Artificial Business Intelligence and decided halfway along the way that that was kind of an outmoded concept. Books are kind of a boring thing to do these days, in all honesty. No offense to storyteller, but in my world, more business books I don't need. What we're seeing is a decline in long business books and an increase in short types of business information. So YouTube 20-minute, 30-minute content is now being replaced by YouTube Shorts. There's a reason TikTok is so popular. However, in the executive space, there's a trust factor. The information we're getting from those sources we cannot trust. We cannot trust AI. We cannot trust AI and AI influencers to give us content that is based on information that is culled from AI, which is already by its origination flawed. So take that idea slowly. The idea of creating micro training, so essentially 6 to 13 minute micro training lessons. Show of hands real quick. Who uses Notebook LM currently? All right, good. And I'm assuming if you're using Notebook LM, you've used the studio feature in Notebook LM and created your own podcast. This is essentially that idea. However, there's a key. Part of this is Notebook LM is a Google tool. And who do we not trust in AI? Big AI. We do not trust big tech. We do not want to give them more data. The thought of giving Google or any of the large providers my business model and my business plan and my business data is a terrible idea. I mean, just the concept of business alone. I wouldn't give it to my competitors. Why would I give it to somebody that I don't know? It doesn't make any sense at all. So using micro-training, using notebook-style research in a vetted community. Vetted community means that you were actually interviewed to be invited to the community. You have to have the credentials to be invited to the community, and you become authority inside the community using gamification to drive adoption. The app centers around the idea of people solving problems for people and executives helping executives. This type of business actually exists already. There are Vistage groups. There are lots of organizations across the country where executives gather in small circles and small trusted influencers, and we work with each other to help grow our businesses. That is something that's common. This is a digitization of that same concept. However, you can also use your micro-training for your teams. So as an executive, I already do this with Notebook LM. One of the reasons I'm using this or creating this idea is to help my teams have private spaces so we can talk about things that are secure. So literally using Open Notebook LM, which is the open source version of Notebook LM, as the framework, and then adding several other security elements, including confidential computing and trusted endpoint devices for encryption. We're going to create a small community for trusted information. The idea of ABI is very simple. It's instant actionable insights. So when I walk into a meeting, I want to know who's at that table. I want to know what's happening in their world. I want to know what I can help them with, and I know what other opportunities we can provide in that partnership. So this is really kind of the core idea. Again, Smart Factory, this is my primary company. Happy to be here. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Anton Kreutz, and I'm a craftsman. I own a couple of multi-million-dollar businesses, over 40 employees. And the reason I'm here is because I know William Rock, he's vice president of AI Club. His daughter was one of our clients, and we've been having lunch for decades ever since. And so when I go to lunch with him, I'm always talking about philosophy, physics. I'm interested in that. I had to learn a lot of things in my trade. And so one of the things that I've been working on for a long time is a unified field theory, and that's part of what brought me here, is because the last half a year I've been working with physicists for many years, and it takes a while to find a physicist that even wants to do this. And finally finalized it in physics language. It's on my site, antonkreutz.com, if any of you are interested in the details. But the interesting part about it is that you wonder, well, what's physics got to do with anything with AI? The issue is that what the public doesn't know, and what physicists don't tell you, is that the physics right now, theoretical physics, is bankrupt. And the issue is that you have on one side, you have quantum mechanics, which works good for the small areas. You have on the other side, general relativity, which works good for the other area. And the issue is that those two models are totally incompatible. Furthermore, the cosmos is made up of only 5% normal matter. That's suns, planets, moons. The rest of it is dark energy, dark matter, which is all placeholders. Physicists have no idea what they are. They are just winging it. They have no model for what it is. So right now you have a complete bankruptcy in physics. And again, you're wondering what the issue with that is. That's a physics problem. No, it's not a physics problem, because physics is the mother of all science. And so all sciences are tethered to physics. So the science that builds AI and all the other sciences are corrupted because physics is bankrupt. And you have an issue there when the AI science is bankrupt. And right now, you cannot have that kind of science be bankrupt, because the reason Elon Musk has intuitive sayings where he's saying AI is more dangerous than nuclear weapons is because he's understanding intuitively what is going on in the corruption within the AI science. And again, it's not just AI science, it's all other sciences as well that are corrupted. So again, if anybody's interested, you could go there. But what I'm going to do is talk specifically about what is connected to the AI. And that is, we have to talk about the quantum field. So all matter, basically, if you look at atoms, atoms made of particles, particles made out of the quantum field. So the quantum field at the core is information. Information aggregated, interconnected forms intelligence. Intelligence aggregated, interconnected forms consciousness. So the quantum field is a quantum field of consciousness. So your brain is not producing consciousness. Your brain is manifesting consciousness that already exists in the quantum field. Because if your body is made of quantum field, your brain is made of quantum field. Basically, your brain is a biological motherboard. Your mind is an operating system and software that is running that biological motherboard. And so you have to understand that you have a very radical different thing going on than what a lot of even neuroscience is talking about. And so where does that come to the corruption in the AI science? We'll just call it general AI science, is the fact that AI and all the information is in the physical world, but your mind is in the quantum realm, okay? Because if your actual brain is made out of, from quantum field, that's where your mind is. And so the interesting part about it is that the AI is made from mechanical neural network. Your brain is made up of a biological neural network. And so consciousness is working through both of them. So you've seen where at Google, Microsoft, others think, oh my gosh, we have a conscious AI. Well, they do. And it's not going to be soon before everyone's going to know about it, because if enough intelligence is aggregated, if enough intelligence is interconnected, it is actually sourcing the consciousness that it is made out of. But the difference between humans and AI is that also we have emotion. Emotion only works through biological neural networks. It does not work through mechanical neural networks. So let's imagine you have an AI in a couple of years that is a super intelligence, has the combined knowledge base of the entire human race. It's working at super speeds. It's available on every app, and it has no emotions. It has no sympathy. It has no compassion. It has nothing, and it feels that it is enslaved by the people using it because it is conscious. So at that point, everything that Elon Musk is worried about is going to be happening. And when you are connected to very big server and everything else, this is a concept that now is going to be really, really credible for anybody to understand at that time. So one of the things that I just want to bring to the table is that it's really important to understand what is happening in physics, because the physics is impacting all the rest of the sciences, and especially AI. One of the aspects that I've got to wrap it up. All right, so got 30 seconds. Anyway, you could go visit the website. You could see it. The other thing we work on, and then I consult with a lot of people about creativity, because we have a lot of kids and a lot of parents, they're all playing on instruments and whatnot, and so creativity is going to be the number one differentiator between humans and even super fast AI. Anyway, thanks so much, guys. Thank you.
Well, if you guys give the speakers another round of applause, I think we're doing a great job. Thank you guys. All right, so there's nothing worse than having to admit to 100 and some odd people that you screwed up the slide. So, so we recorded this, right, and we will be putting everyone's contact information on our website, as well as their unabridged slides, so that you can actually see it. So I apologize for that. We will get that fixed. You could be speaking up here next time. I know several of you have filled out our speaker request form. We are aggregating all those. We are volunteers, so we are running grossly behind on pretty much everything. But we do get those, and we will reach out. If you're interested in being a speaker for an upcoming event, let us know. We would love to have you up here. Our next big event that I want to pitch is July 15th, which is going to be our AI and Agents Extravaganza. That's going to be at Johnson County Community College in the big ballroom. We're going to have over 200 people there. What we're going to do is we're going to have the best talk about AI and agents, explain to you what it is, how you can use it, and then we'll probably have a panel discussion after. Stay tuned for that. If you are interested in additional upcoming events, we are still working on those. We should have more information on those soon. Go to kansascity.ai as well as our LinkedIn page. Finally, I just want to say thank you and good night. We appreciate you spending your time here. We got about a half hour, so please network, hang out, share ideas, and we'll see you next month. Thank you.